Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
is the September 21st, 2023 meeting of the Town of Exeter Historic District Commission. My name is Grayson Shepherd. I'm the chair. I'm going to start with the roll to my right.
I'm Selectwoman Julie Gilman.
Pam Chatham, the clerk.
Kevin Conn, Vice Chair.
And Gwen English, Planning Board Rep.
All right, so looking at the agenda, the first thing that we have is the continued public hearing on the application of Mario Ponte for changes to the existing structure at 85 Water Street, HD case number 23-7, tax map parcel 7229. Do we have anyone here for this application?
Good evening, board and members. My name's Mario Ponte. I'm from across the street, Exeter Jewelers. Been here for 50 years. And I acquired this building maybe 30 years ago. And it's in desperate need of renovation, as you probably all know. And what we want to do with my architect, Thomas House, and John DiStefano, the builder, is to bring it back to its original, restore it back to the way it was originally, because the dormers were there originally but covered over. The windows on the second floor, the openings are still there with the granite top, but a third of those were covered over. And those lower arches are still there, but they were covered over with the shingled canopy. So we want to uncover all of that and restore it to its original splendor, let's say, and put an addition on the back so that makes room for the fire escape, elevators and things to that nature. So my architect will explain, and I think Mr. DiStefano wants to come up here and talk about the changes we made from the last meeting. Thank you.
Right. I took, from last meeting, we put together some information for you on the various elements that you asked about in terms of the detail and colors and so forth. But rather than get into that detail, we'll kind of play that along with Tom was going to explain the changes to the drawings that we talked about at the last meeting, how we came about that. This is Tom House.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Well, it's morning somewhere. I'm in the European time zone, but anyway. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners of the Board, of the Commission. My name's Tom House with THA Architects. And I'm just going to briefly go through some of this. This is we've asked to give you sort of our construction drawings, so we gave you the whole set that we have to date. It's about 95%. We have a few interior detail, but not exterior stuff. But this is just our cover sheet here, and I'll talk about the elevations in a quick second if I can learn how to use this thing. Oh, good, I did it right. That's just the code analysis. This is part of the code analysis. Okay, this here is the basement level. Right now, do you want to talk about the interior or just the exterior?
Really just the exterior.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yes, for 19 sheets. I don't have to go through 61 sheets. We'll be here, we brought dinner, right? So, let's see. Sorry about that. Oop. Okay. Oops. Oop. Okay. You have your packets in front of you already for the elevations, and those folks at home, I think that pause out back and just zoom in on this, but this one here, this is our front elevation right here, okay? As Mr. Ponte had mentioned, on the first floor, those semicircular windows are actually still there, but they're underneath the existing shingled roof canopy, which we want to take down. The round window over this entrance door here is going to be new. I don't think that's not there. So the round window is going to be new. It sort of takes in that vocabulary of having the arched windows in there, so it kind of helps to bring that along. The second floor, as Mr. Ponte had mentioned, the windows are shorter right now, and there's some kind of like a cedar shingle fill-in above the windows to the granite header. So we're taking out the shingle infill up top and just putting in new windows. They're going to be large windows all the way up to the top, from the sill all the way up to the granite heads. So just like how you see there. So those will be all new windows. On the roof, there's no dormers up there right now, but as Mr. Ponte mentioned, you want to bring back the original dormers from before. From last time, the middle dormer is what we had. The two dormers on the side, I believe, they had the sort of a rounded top to them.
I think the middle one had a rounded top,
Right.
and the two on the
Okay, my
side were,
apologies,
yeah.
okay, six.
Yeah.
I thought it was this morning, so. Anyway, one of these was rounded. So the middle was rounded, the two ends were gabled. The ones at the ends were a little bit smaller, and the reason for that is the one in the middle, you can see we have a fatter sort of mullion between the windows. There's actually a wall partition, demising wall between two units, so I had to have that sort of width between the windows. So to make it look like it belongs properly, I made these two dormers on the side the same width, and then we just took the rounded top roof and made them the gable ends to match. The elevation to the right, you're going to see a lot of stuff here. A lot of this text here that was I have clouded up here. That's I didn't have the description of what the materials were, and that's what those are. I think you can see that in your package there. Is it too small?
No, I can read it.
You can read it? Okay, good. The elevation to the right, the side elevation, there was nothing really here for us to change except calling out materials. So you've seen this from before. And number 3, the rear elevation, we decided to get rid of this two small dormers on top because it really wasn't really doing that much for us. And there was nothing there before historically, so we're not doing those two small shed dormers up there. It doesn't make sense. Other than that, we just identified all of the materials and so forth. Let's see. So I can't read that from here, but just real quickly for materials, and maybe John can come up here and tag team with me. Getting back to the front elevation for a second.
While we're on the back real quick, because I am in my notes and I may be misremembering, there was a question about the garage door.
Oh, okay, yes.
On the bottom.
Right, there's no garage down there.
Okay.
No, there's no garage. It went back and forth, but in our final latest revision, and that's in the floor plans we have there too, is that we use that area instead of a garage, we're using it as an apartment. And a garage wouldn't fit down there. We do have 3 parking spaces out there, and the cars do seem to stick out beyond the building, the back end of the garage, cars, if you park straight in. They're sticking out past the building a little bit, but this access way between the buildings, like, oops, right here, this is that access between the two buildings. Mm-hmm. That's actually a pedestrian access. It's not supposed to have cars going down. It's a very narrow pedestrian way. Mr. Ponte had mentioned to us. I thought it was cars, because I'd seen cars go down there. But he says, no, that's only supposed to be for pedestrian.
It's a right-of-way, but for pedestrians.
Right.
Cars started driving on it, and they just allowed it, but this was all brought up with Tracy McGrail when we did the renovation at the back of the riverfront.
So all the cars are typically that go out back there are coming down a different way. And even when cars coming from left to right behind the building, they're not supposed to be going up that steep access way. And most of them just turn around and go back out the same way they came in. So I put on the drawings pedestrian access just to make sure everybody understood that that's what that's supposed to be for. And we do have enough, even when the cars are parked there under the building, kind of like a carport type activity. Oops. It's really, you have more than enough for pedestrians to walk through there. It's like, I don't know what it is, it's over 5 feet, so there's more than enough room for people to walk back there. So, real quickly, the windows, and John can just jump in here, because I wasn't here last time. The windows, we're looking at being Pella windows, aluminum clad, and we're proposing black. And that would basically, that'd be all of the windows actually. Oh, I did it again. Here we go. Yeah, all of these windows down here, the storefronts, those will all be black, and all the windows above here will be black. And we're open to making them white if the commission seems fit, because I noticed that some of the windows down on the rest of the street, they're all white. But this is our preference, and you can let us know what you think from your side.
So let me just point out that prior to this, it was a vinyl clad window. You ask for the aluminum, we'll give you the aluminum. And the same goes for the balcony doors, it'd be matching color, style there.
Great. Okay. Of course, we're going to clean up the existing brick, make sure it's, repoint if we have to, and any kind of damage that's behind it. Because we don't know what's behind that first floor covered, the shingle covered canopy. But whatever's underneath there, we're obviously going to be cleaning it up. Let's see, the trim will be white around the rakes of the gables, and the corner boards and so forth will be white. What else do we need to, the roof is going to be like an architectural grade shingle roof, and we're looking at black or charcoal black. The elevation to the right, let's see, again, it's the same information, the windows, the brick. This right here, this window here, I think that's there too, that semicircular window, that's there as well. And if you look at it, it kind of wraps around the corner and comes right here to the front. So I think that's a pretty good idea, whoever did that. On the rear elevation, we have some, going from the top down, we have some balconies up here, 2 balconies, and those railings are going to be black aluminum as well. And this whole facade here, from this little portion here and all of this up here, I believe you talked about it before as being some kind of like a hardy plank, some kind of cementitious siding. So it looks like clapboard, but it's not wood for durability reasons. And originally we were thinking it might want to be red because the building off to this side here has red clapboards. So we think about maybe matching that, but it doesn't have to be red. We could change that to another color if you prefer. We're not fixed on that. And right here is where the carports are. This door right here goes into the one of the egress stairs from inside.
If you pull the plan out, it's easier to see.
Well, they want to look at elevations. So the cars are sticking here. And right now, there's an existing wall right now, and it's a brick wall. We're not taking that down. We want to keep that there. So you see the exposed brick on the first floor from the existing. And obviously, we're going to clean that up as well. Do you want to see the lower basement level so you know what I'm talking about with the cars?
Why don't we focus on kind of, I guess we can pause where we are and see if anybody has any questions based on the information in the packets and what you presented. I did want to point out, Julie can correct me if I'm wrong, you mentioned color. That's outside of our purview. We can't tell you what color things can or can't be.
We
can offer suggestions.
Yeah, we respect
and our preferences.
We really do.
But
We respect your opinion.
yeah, okay. All right. I just wanted to put that out there.
But no paint or anything like that,
Well, that was going to be my suggestion.
You got
so never
time on
mind.
hand, just not doing that fluorescent orange or something,
Does anybody have any questions or thoughts from the presentation?
What did the original in the front elevation over the center door? What was that feature before? You now have it as a round window, but I'm just curious if you even know what was there.
I personally do not know what the history is over that center portion there. I just know about the history of the semicirculars.
Yeah.
Mario, do you recall what's over the center? What's in here?
Another arch, but
Right
a
there?
little larger.
Okay.
I mean, if that arch is there right now, we can take a look at it during construction. Maybe we just keep that there and we'll just put like a rectangle glass below it, so it's infill between that larger arch and the doors down below. We can infill that with something. If that's what the commission wants to see.
Well, that can go 2 ways. There's you're doing a lot of restoration here, which is great. I like what you're bringing. I think what you're bringing back is appropriate for the building because that's what it was. And then by saying that, then what's in the center front retail area not having a full circular window would be a new element introduction into the existing building, which you can do because the two ways to look at it is, one is just do the restoration, make it exactly what it was before, and you have a lot of that going on. But on the other hand, it's new storefront configuration, so maybe you can introduce a new element just to show that it has been, changed over time. So that's a discussion point for us. And as the chairman said, that color is not our purview, but I would recommend the white is my preference, only because that's what you see downtown. And I think the black will make it much more of a solid face. So it's just brick and black and glass, and it would kind of all blend together, and you'd miss that rhythm that you have of the 3 floors.
Okay.
So I guess the first thing we need to look at is, do we have any questions about the actual materials and the additional information that we have? Or do I have a motion to accept the application as complete?
I'll move the application as complete.
Questions on it? I'll second the motion.
Okay, so the application, I'll start and say I appreciate you giving us this additional information on the materials. I know that was kind of the primary questions that we had last time, as well as obviously the garage, which has been kind of next, or not kind of next, completely next. So that kind of resolves that question in my mind. So does anybody else have any more questions or thoughts before we move forward?
No, these are materials that have been used along Water Street in other locations, and they conform to things that we've approved in the past. And it's really good to see this documented, so in the records that we have what you're proposing. So I really, you've answered all our questions that we had at the last meeting about the type of windows and the materials for the balcony and the trims and the hardy plank in the back, and simplified the back actually. So that's good for you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
No.
Jill, what was your discussion point about the window? I just want to make sure that we can hash that out before we.
The circular window in the front is introducing a new style element to the, I think, to the original. I think that band of where the half circles are probably carried across, and there was the rectangular storefront louver. Is that the word? Louver for the above the entry doors, like there are above the storefront windows or storefront entrances.
And did I hear that we're not sure what's there now? What's behind the?
Well, it looks like it's going to be looking into the foyer that walks to the elevator.
It's a quarter.
So it's not looking at any storefront. It's
Right.
right.
It's in the court, yes.
Yeah.
I think it looks nice. I think it's, rather than having this all half circles, it has this nice central point. So,
If it helps you also, as far as the height of those windows, if you walk into the stores right now, you're going to see the ceiling's dropped. So that's going to also open up those spaces to a higher ceiling, and all this light will be coming into. I think it's going to be a great addition.
Yeah, I was curious about that, so I did go into the store and I took a look at the awning on the outside, and then on the inside, it's like, maybe it's there. I can't tell. I can't, pop up the ceiling. So, but I'm glad that it's the original is there. That's really great.
If you get into this project and see what's behind that, and see that maybe there is an arched window that appeals to you, would we be comfortable saying if that's something that they decide they want to go with, or would we have to decide that now? mean,
Well, let me ask a question first before we answer that question. What's the diameter of that circle?
The what?
The diameter, it's got to be pretty big.
Well, those are 2 3-foot doors, so about 6 feet.
So,
It'd be the same, it's almost the same diameter as those semicircular windows.
it looks like.
and so you have those broken up into, divided in half, which is
Right.
probably the way they were. And I'm just wondering if a 6-foot radius piece of glass is actually going to work or be
It's a
too hard to
custom-
install.
It'll be a custom piece.
Well, sure.
But if that is a half moon under there, which I
Keep
think
it.
it is, it's just larger, because I have something
Mario.
like that in the attic.
You can give them,
See it?
Mario, you need to talk in the mic. We're doing our dance we were doing last time.
So up in the attic, there is something just like that I think it's too big for the smaller arches, so it must have gone on the center one, because the center one is definitely bigger. So I don't know what condition it's in, but it's up there.
Okay.
So we would put that back. We wouldn't put that circle, I don't think, right? Why would we?
If you have that upstairs in your attic,
We'll
then I would
have it
definitely go with
reproduced,
that. I would, because that would have been historical, it would have been there in the first place.
okay.
But when I asked that question about are those semicircular windows there, I was told yes. I was not told anything about the center, so we made it round.
Yep.
Well, if you have if you have the existing there, it would be great to restore that or rehabilitate it and restore it to the place where it came from. Ideally by the Secretary of Interior standards, that's what you want to do. So
Yeah,
that goes to your question about can we just say, okay, do that?
I like that. I'm glad that it exists and that there's a chance that could be put in. Okay.
Well, we can do it as a condition of approval.
Does anybody want to make a motion with that condition?
Are we good with everything else?
Yeah, I mean, I should say, is everybody good with everything else? I mean, I think that all the other questions have been resolved. Is there anybody on Zoom or any public comment? I guess I need to get in a better habit of asking that. No? Okay.
You're not used to having a large group of people in the room.
Usually just talking to ourselves up here.
I have no more questions.
All right. Motion, can we have a motion on a condition with
A motion
the
to
headline?
approve condition on using the semicircle, the size that you have in the attic that would fit the original fitting for that window.
If available.
Yeah, if available.
Do I have a second?
Oh, second.
Well, I've got, I can see the
Julie
wheels
wants to reword the motion.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to object to the, I just want to word the motion differently, just so it's a little more exact to what we were discussing. So,
Okay, I'll withdraw my motion.
withdraw your second.
Well, I was going to second it. It sounded, why don't you make it the way you say it? Because
Well, I'll move to approve the application as appropriate with the condition that the original arched glazing that has been retained elsewhere in the building to be remounted in place above the entry doors
In lieu of the round window.
in lieu of the round window, the proposed round window.
Right.
I'd second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. So moved. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm a little disappointed we didn't have the cardboard model this time.
Thank you.
We're cheap dates.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you.
All right, thanks. What's this one?
Which one is next?
All right, so the second we have on the agenda, if I can get this out here, is the application of Emily and Sean Southworth for the replacement of windows in the existing residence of 111 High Street. We have HD case 23-8.
Mr. Chair, we had a quick discussion before you came in. I'm going to recuse myself from discussion and voting because these are my neighbors across the street, and you can see my house in their application. So in order to avoid any discussion of nepotism or malevolence from a neighbor, I am going to withdraw
I
from
thought
this.
I saw that when I was looking. I recognize that house. Okay.
It's our neighbor.
All right. So why don't you guys just tell us what you're planning on doing?
Nothing near that at all. But yeah, so I'm Emily and this is Sean Southworth, and we just moved into 111 High Street at the start of the year. And really we're just looking to replace a few of the single pane windows with some double pane to update them and keep the energy and the heat in the house a little better. So we're working with Middleton Lumber, with Christian Sedler and MacDougall Builders for the install to replace the windows that you can see here with the Anderson aluminum white windows below. So that's the current, and then if you scroll up a little bit is the proposed, yeah, so that's the proposed window on the left. It's small, I know. So not much is changing, but it is adding a little bit more pane in between. So aesthetically from the outside, you can tell the difference.
Prior owners did change a few different windows, so we're matching the windows that they updated.
Yeah.
To make sure that we keep the theme consistent with the house.
Yeah, see, that's an interesting statement because we try to tell people that when they replace their windows, they may not last as long as the warranty. And we actually have had people come back, or I've been here long enough that I've seen one building twice with replacement windows. So just beware. But I appreciate, the information.
How many windows is it? I was trying to do the quick
In
math.
total, I believe it's 5 or 6. Yeah. And we're gonna just kind of chip away at them slowly over time. The door, yeah, and there's one door, I believe it's the last image on here. Currently, there's a door upstairs,
Keep going. There.
that. Yeah, so it's just a double door out to a rubber roof. Yeah, and I guess at one point they must have had a little like railing on it or something to go out there, but we don't use it as that, and eventually want to turn it into a kid's room. So want to take out the door because the outside is actually rotted, and replace it with the window in the picture below, in the proposed window below. And that's on the back side of the house, so actually not visible from the front.
And that door is like a custom fit too, so even if we wanted to replace the door itself, we'd have to get a custom door. So that's why we opted for the window, to bring the rest of the height up with the rest of the windows in the back of the house.
And do you know, I know I'm asking probably months down the road, but how long, you said you're kind of gonna plan on doing some over time. Do you know how long that runway is? And I'll tell you the reason I'm asking is I don't recall off the top of my head how long the approvals are.
A year.
So they're a year? Okay. So I'm just putting that in
we might
the
be
back of
back.
your head.
Same presentation.
I'm just letting you know, yeah, in the event that that runway is longer than a year.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, because I think we were gonna do at least the door and possibly one other this year, this fall potentially, and then the rest either next spring, next fall, and the year after.
So would it be a year from today, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
so potentially, but likely we'll be back.
It should be a much more streamlined process.
Yes.
So. All right. Does anybody have any questions about the packet or the materials or any information that you think we need before we can move to the appropriateness of the proposal?
I think I got.
Is the, are the grills in the windows, and forgive me for not remembering, are they simulated divided lights that are surface mounted on the outside? Are they between the panes of glass?
Believe we were going to do in between the panes of glass.
He said we could do either, technically, but I think you had proposed the in between the glass.
Okay.
What, can I ask you a quick question?
No, please.
Did you say that you're trying to match them with the windows that are in the rest of the house? So are those, what are the features with that? Are the, given her question, are they inside or in between the panes of glass, or?
Some of them
Some of them are, so they're all a little different?
All over.
Yeah.
They're all Anderson. They're all very similar to the pane style.
Yeah.
But some of them are Arian, some of them are crank this way, some of them are crank that way.
Okay.
They're a little all over the place.
Okay. All right.
Do you recall how old the house is?
1952.
We do have the original blueprints.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
cool. We found them in the basement.
And is the window that's replacing the door, is that basically going to be, trying to think of the size, is it basically just like the windows, or is it going to be where the opening is on the door, more or less?
No, we're bringing the door up.
Okay.
There's two other windows on the other side of the wall, and we're going to match those to keep it consistent as it flows from the side.
Okay.
Any other questions about the materials that we have?
Well, I would be happier if I could actually see this, but it's certainly telling us everything I think we need to know. And it's none of the materials are things we accept, so.
Yeah, I can't tell from the pictures. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on the divided light business. I can't tell from the photographs. Are those the grills between the glass? Or are they true divided lights?
I guess I don't understand the question. Like, is it in between the panes of glass, or is it, no?
No, they're on the outside. Yeah, most of them are rotted away right now.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just can't see what that, oh well.
It's zoomed in up there, if that's helpful at all.
Pam, they're basically the same, like these are 4/4,
Yeah.
and that's what they're proposing here. And the same on the other one, so they're not changing the configuration of
No. Yeah.
of how the windows are divided.
Go ahead.
I guess the only thing that, and I should have gone by and looked at your house, so that's on me not to have done that, but it would be sort of helpful for me to see the house and see.
Well, I did go by, and they have so much stuff in their yard, so much that short of going up, which I did, thank you for not arresting me, but you have to actually go up to the house and peek in the window like a burglar.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
lot of trees out front.
So
It's pretty comfortable.
you can't see, you cannot see it. A drive-by does not do any good.
Okay, so.
Well, I
No
feel better.
sidewalk right on our side either, so it is hard to see.
Okay.
Well, I have been inside that house with the previous owner, so they're,
I mean, I'm comfortable with what they've provided us. It's just for my own, I don't know, it's helpful for me to have a vision of what the whole house looks like, so I can kind of put the windows in their places as they're being proposed, and just feels a little bit better, but I wouldn't give it a thumbs down just based on that.
There's a photo on Zillow if you want it.
I was hoping that this gentleman would have a computer that could.
I can vouch that you can't see the windows because there are a lot of trees in front of the house.
You can't.
We only can see him from the driveway.
Yeah.
In fact, why don't you draw us a sketch?
I can't even draw up the trees.
So I guess, do I have a motion to
Accept.
accept as complete?
Move to accept.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
I,
Any points of discussion we want on?
do you,
Right.
I have one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to the divided lights in your windows. Did you get a pricing for the difference between the what you're proposing and what the simulated divided lights are?
No.
Okay.
I wish I had a copy of my guidelines, but I left them at work today, so.
Oh, I have them.
Any other discussion points? I mean, I think
Which one, the pricing in general?
if anybody has any discussion points while I flip through this, I'm happy to look at it, or I'm not gonna hold anything up. You don't have anything?
No,
Nope.
I think it's Anderson, which we've accepted all the time. It's the colors we have nothing to say with anyway, but it's white with unfinished pine, which is nice. And, yeah.
Do I have a motion to accept as appropriate?
Sure. Move to approve.
Do I have a second?
Silence.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, you're approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You all, appreciate it.
Now we know.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good.
Oh, dear.
So now on to the final application of Greg Dawson for changes to existing structure at 100 High Street, proposing to construct a new covered porch and rebuild the existing deck located in the R2 Single Family Residential Zoning District, HD case 23-9.
Mr. Chair, earlier before you had arrived, we also discussed this building, as I am in a butter to this application. And both the representative from the project and I agreed that we feel comfortable that there's no conflict.
Good.
Or comfortable in my participation.
It would be a silent process if that was the case, so. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Greg Dawson, and as you know, I'm here for 100 High Street. There's an existing deck on the property, which connects building A and B. What we're proposing is to disconnect the two buildings. One is going to stay a covered porch with stairs to the front and the back because there's parking towards the back near the hospital. And the other one, we're proposing to make that into a 6x10 covered porch instead of just a deck.
So do you happen to have, and I was trying to do this earlier, and I also was unable to drive by, but do you have any photos of what I guess would be building A looks like presently?
We do have some photos of it separate.
On here. I don't think I have photos of the building I took. My name's Joe Welch. My partner and I own Building B, right? I don't have photographs of the building. I took some photographs of the deck, which is in very poor condition, and the genesis of this project was our mailman stepping through one of the treads and injuring his knee. So I do not have photographs of the actual buildings. I don't know if you know. So I don't.
I think I have one on here. I looked online earlier, and I have it's a kind of a photo, but it wasn't super helpful.
So I'm familiar with the configuration. I think it would be helpful for me to know if the porch is getting bigger on either building.
No, they won't be getting bigger. Right now, currently, it is like 6x20 connecting building A to B. So that's going to get cut in half in the middle, and it's going to be 6x12, and that middle section is going to get discontinued. And then the other on building B is going to stay the same as it is.
Well, the porch as it is now is very much part of the house.
Correct. Yep.
So you're going to leave that as it is,
on building B, which is the left building there, that's going to be left as it is.
Yes.
Except the ramp, which is really falling apart on us, we're going to make those into some steps.
Yeah.
So that'll get a little smaller. And then as you see, it's a large connecting section there, connecting building A and B. So we're going to split them in half there. That whole middle section is going to get taken out.
So they'll really be separate buildings.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is actually very helpful because I couldn't remember if the porch on building A was already covered or not, like if it was the entirety.
Yeah, currently it just has that awning on it.
Okay.
We're looking to do a more permanent structure.
So are these two separate lots with the same mailing address or two owners, or is it?
It's a condo association. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
It's an existing older Victorian structure and a new barn, it was called at the time, that replaced an old barn, all on the same one piece of property. And then it was converted into condominiums.
Building A, I believe, is owned by Mount Prospect Academy. I think that's right.
Okay.
So I guess as far as the footprint goes, the only difference for building A on the left is that you're just getting rid of the connection. Is that correct?
And the ramp up.
And the ramp are changing to stairs.
Exactly.
Okay. And B, that awning is being turned into a slightly larger covered porch.
Correct.
Okay.
It's not changing as far as the footprint. The footprint's going to be 6 by 12.
Yeah.
So it's not expanding on that footprint. It's just going to get rebuilt, new footings and covered.
Yeah, right now, there's a fixed awning above the doorway on Building B. That's what that half circle is. I think that the proposed view of a real residential-looking kind of porch is actually more appropriate.
Okay, just to make sure I understand this. Right now, you have a connecting walkway, so you go up on the porch and you can go from Building A to Building B,
Correct.
preferably with roller skates because it does go like this.
It does. It's quite the ramp, yeah.
But, so you're going to pull that apart and so they're going to be totally separate?
Correct.
Okay.
And what are I know you mentioned the porch kind of deteriorating, but what are the materials? I guess we can start with Building A, unless they're going to be basically the same.
Currently existing?
Yeah, what are they currently existing and what's going to be replacing it?
Currently, it's an original generation composite, bright nails, so they're rusted all over the place. It's cracking and splitting. The rails are turned PT balusters with 2x4 top rail and bottom rail. The posts supporting the existing porch are kind of different, every one. So as the years have gone and they've been rotted, they've been replaced one by one. I think 2 of them are the same and 3 of them are unique. So out of the 5 posts. And when we do that, we go back all the same, PT wrapped with pine. And then the rails as we go back will be PT with PT balusters again. And the decking, they propose to use Trek Select composite in a pebble gray.
Is that it?
So, okay, if I understand what you just said, the original porch to the Building A currently doesn't really have any original materials? It's like, how much wood is left, I guess, on that?
The posts are wood that are supporting the covered structure, and the rails are currently wood. The decking itself is a original generation, one of the first generations of the composite material. So.
Yeah, never get the original generation of a new material. It's like getting Microsoft software when they first put it out, and then you gotta wait a year.
Do we know when the deck was originally put on the house? Probably not. I just
I don't have any record of it.
It was there when we purchased the building.
Yeah.
And I think I saw in the packet the roofing's going to match.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I believe it's a charcoal architectural.
Can we go back to that Google view, Bob? Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure there was, let's see. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a porch there when the house was originally built.
Well, there was.
But I'm not sure if it's that particular configuration, but it's been that way for as long as I remember.
Yeah.
Do we need to have more, does the package need to have more details about the actual roofing? And I mean, it's got Trek Series decking. Do we need that, or is it?
I think you have an example of the Treks.
I have an example of the Trek.
Yep.
Okay.
Bring that up if you want to see it closer.
Heavy.
We should keep we used to keep a box of material samples, so people could, if they didn't bring it, we'd have it.
Too many options now,
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, the box wouldn't be big enough.
right?
Yep, very nice. Yeah.
So I guess, do we have any more questions on building A, as far as information that we may or may not have? Before we go to building B.
Right, I want to, unless I'm missing it.
I just wanted to confirm there's no work being done to the existing windows and window trim shutters on the project. Okay.
Nothing with any of it.
It's all just porch work and,
Exactly.
got it.
How old is the, okay, roof asphalt to match, so you're matching, new covered porch, so you're trying to match the roof of the main part of the house.
Yep, they're both
That's-
existing, they were done about the same time, they're
Yeah.
both the same color, they're both architectural asphalt
Yeah.
shingles.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I guess my only question is the materials for, and you may have already, we may have already answered this question, and I was thinking of something else. The materials for the posts and rails and of the porch?
Yeah, we talked about that, but no problem.
Say it again, please.
No problem at all. For the posts themselves, we're going to replace them with PT and wrap them in pine. The rails are going to be 2x4 pressure treated and turn balusters.
And is that on both?
That'll be on
Yeah, both.
yeah.
Any questions about A? Okay.
No, I think well, my questions have been answered, so.
Anything on building B? That's the awning that's
the carriage house.
on down.
Can I make a motion to accept the application as complete?
Yes, I do have one quick question. I may, again, I'm using the street view. Are the current steps, are they stone?
The current steps to the left on building,
Thank you for tuning in.
steps on building A are both granite slabs.
Okay.
Yep, so those will stay existing, but where the ramp is coming off, those will be new steps, and those won't be granite. At this point, we're not planning on that, unless you guys wanted to do that. But those would be just replacing the ramp and putting the 2 or 3 steps down there.
Okay.
So, I apologize if I'm trying to figure out my bearings here. On B, the steps that are going to be on the porch or under the porch, those are going to, the granite's going to be removed and there's going to be replaced with the PT lumber steps?
No, we're gonna keep the existing
Okay.
granite. So there's, on building B, which is to the left, there's 2 steps of granite to get up. On building A, there's also 2 slabs of granite to get up. But where the ramp is, that's gonna be replaced, and that's gonna be pressure-treated steps with, pressure-treated frame and composite steps to get up.
Okay. All right.
And
got my bearings.
railings on
The railings
that?
will all be pressure-treated.
Those
Yep.
will all, those for the steps will be,
Correct, yep. Yeah,
Pressure-treated.
no composite, no. none of
okay,
that
no
stuff.
metal,
Yep.
nothing, okay.
Is there going to be a ramp to get in the building?
No, there's not gonna be a ramp.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
No. Go back to your.
Time for my motion? I'll make a motion to move to accept the application as complete.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna, I just want to note that the materials have been verbally confirmed, but not in the written application. So I will say yes, but as a lesson for us all that we really want to see it on the paper, because the note is that the final design to be decided by the owner. So,
You're right, we have had surprises.
Too late.
excuse me?
I'm sorry. Can we have that as a condition that they're put in here?
Yeah. We can amend the motion if you want.
Okay.
So did we, where are we in the making of the motion? We voted, right?
Yeah.
Well, we accepted it, but now we can talk about extras, which you are.
Thank you. Well, but the reason I said it was because we're accepting it as complete and yet still had questions about them. So now we can do it with conditions.
Okay.
Any other points of discussion?
I would love to know how you got your ramp to do that waves of Tory. I mean,
Years of practice. Right?
New England winters.
so I knew some poor soul who was trying to get up the ramp would be, oh well. But we will not laugh at things like that. That would be evil.
And what is the height gonna be on the porch on building A? Is it gonna be basically at the same level as the awning?
The height of the roof?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it'll be pretty close to the height of the existing awning, yeah.
Okay. So I guess we can start. Anyone have any further comments?
I guess I'm looking here, and I live 2 doors down in the purple house. I have a question, looking at the picture and looking at the drawing here on, I guess we're calling it Building A is the carriage house?
Yep.
Okay. Here it's kind of showing a door with 2 windows on the side, and is that just an artist's
Just
rendering?
the architect's rendering.
The
yeah.
door stays as,
I believe that's what's existing currently right now, but we have no plans to change it. Yep.
All right, which goes back to the question of right now that fixed awning, the bottom of it is lower than the header of the window, but the proposal is to raise up the porch roof to above the windows, which is more appropriate, actually.
Exactly. Just a little more appropriate with height, nothing crazy.
I just want to note, in case you can't see it, that picture was taken September 2019, just so it's not like yesterday or something.
Okay, let's put that in the record.
Yeah.
We're observing a photograph from September 2019.
So any discussion points on the materials, I guess, before we made that a condition of any approval?
Ask shingles.
Why don't you say it the way you want it? That they use which
For the porch, posts are going to be pressure-treated wrapped pine? Is that what you said?
Yes.
And then the rails, that's for the columns.
Those are for the columns, and the rails will be pressure-treated 2x4s, top rail and bottom rail, with turned balusters.
Turned balusters?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me write that down.
well, you've got that right. So that will be one of the conditions.
Do we have any problems or discussions on those materials before we can make them a condition? I don't have any problem as described.
No.
All right, well, there's no more questions? I guess Julie is the wordsmith, person who I saw was writing all that stuff down.
I have more years of motion experience. So. Well, I'll move to approve or accept the application as appropriate with the conditions that any new or replacement porch work is as proposed, pressure-treated wood, wrapped pine column posts, and pressure-treated rails and turned balusters. Oh, and the flooring, did we put the...
Trex Select Pebble Gray color decking.
Is that on the application?
Well, it's on a letter that, yeah, it is.
It's in the application.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then what I'm saying is the end of the motion.
Okay.
Okay,
Do I have a second?
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So approved.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right, I gotta try and write this down. Yes, the next point of business is the approval of the minutes from August 17th. Do I have, everybody get a chance to look at those?
Well, again, picky niggly things. 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph down. Now, I know you're typing from an oral transcript, but it just doesn't make sense reading. Julie explained what happened. We discussed all the materials, etc., and found the application complete. I was concerned, but you see, it should be Julie said she was concerned.
I was just looking at that too.
Yeah, okay. And in the next sentence, she asked if they would be willing to come back with a simpler solution. Okay? And take out the I think, simpler solution, a simpler and more cost-effective solution. Okay. And on the next page, 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs down, Jim said that what they think will improve the look of the post is that they will be able to remove the storm windows. Okay? And second paragraph from the bottom. Julie asked about shutters. Keep them or not keep them? Keep or not keep? That doesn't make sense. Julie asked about shutters. Stop. Jim said they will keep the shutters. Okay? Just make it simple. And one more thing. Next page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Mario Ponte spoke and said the building is an eyesore. 2 words. Now, farther down, in the same paragraph, an eyesore is 1 word. It is actually 1 word, so it's an eyesore is 1 word, both places. And that's it.
And there's also the spelling of what I would say DiStefano, but he said DiStefano. Where was it on the sheet? On the front? Yeah, so on that same page, the 3rd page, 2 paragraphs up where it says John DeStefano, I can spell his last name.
Oh.
It's DESTEFANO.
Oh, good catch. Okay.
I move to approve the minutes of August 17th as amended.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Do we have any other business to discuss?
No.
I know we talked about the review of the procedures and everything last time, but
Yes, we didn't put it in the packet for this time, so we can send a reminder to Barb to do that.
Yep.
For next month, if we have business.
Oh, there's DeStefano right there.
well, with that, I have a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
We are adjourned.
No,
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.